is like, he must be good at chess. He must be good at chess. Because he's like 10 steps ahead. Because
I want to know if
he
he
peeped
is.
that old boy.
Yeah.
Like, he saw it, and he was just like, oh, bet? Bet you gonna do this to me? Bet? Alright, cool.
Facts.
Cool. Deal's
Facts.
over. Cool. And that old dude was trifling,
I think
bro.
he always has to be 10 times. What? Let me tell y'all something. During the whole time, I may need to just start putting the camera on myself while I'm watching these doggone shows and stuff. Because huge and witnesses my craziness when I watch these shows. I'm fussing at every character on the screen when something goes
As
down.
all black people do. We be fussing at the screen. They can't hear us. We know they can't hear us,
Well,
but we still
people.
be
Well,
fussing at the screen.
I feel like I feel like I feel like it's a universal thing, especially when it's a good
Right.
show. But I feel like to the black people thing because
It's not a
yeah,
stereotype, but it kind of is.
we've been doing this since we've been doing this since the stories. Okay, we've been in here since the
Peaches. All I gotta say is
stories.
peaches.
Okay, Spanish people can relate to the novellas. You know what I'm saying? They get it. But that show is just freaking amazing, bro. And it also is like, what are you willing to do for the love of your life? And I feel like that is like the gist of what I'm getting from
That is the vibe.
the 6 episodes so far. There's also,
That is a
what are you
reoccurring
willing to
theme.
do to save someone's life?
Thinking about it, you are correct. That is like a reoccurring
Yeah,
theme throughout the whole thing.
yeah.
Because like Kurgan
Mm-hmm.
and old girl, right? Then Nina and
Mm-hmm.
I think his name's like Matthias or something. Mal and
Yeah.
Alina, Inej and Kaz,
Oh,
like
we forgot to talk about that. Okay, so we got to get into Nina and Matthias
Nina.
because first of all, what I
Let,
was trying to tell you,
let me point out,
what I
y'all.
was trying to tell
Nina is also a
you, this is
heartbreaker,
like,
so she can
I'm sorry, y'all.
heartbeat stuff.
Yeah, what I was gonna tell you was that the look in his face when, okay, we're like literally jumping all the way forward. But the highlight of that whole situation, because he doesn't like her because of her ability, right?
Because she's a man.
He believes in,
Okay, Salem Witch
right,
Trials.
right. Okay, so he believes women should be like basically stay at home mom, barefoot pregnant, that whole mentality. Um, what happened, Heja? You were gonna say something?
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, she's emphasizing, but I was trying to say what, but yeah. So he's into that whole situation. So there comes a point where stuff goes down, okay? Because she's basically on the you would say the first floor of the ship that they have her locked up in. She's a prisoner at this point, or a slave at this point, and stuff goes down. Ship gets wrecked.
They
right?
have a whole Jack and Rose moment.
So here's where, and I pointed that out to Hugin as well. They have a whole Jack and Rose moment, and there's a huge piece of wood from the ship. Wood from the ship. She sees his overgrown 7 foot. He got to be like 6 something.
He looks
okay?
tall as hell. Big for
but
no
he's
reason.
taking up. He's a big dude. So she's like trying to get him to go over on the freaking
driftwood or whatever
wood so she can get on there. Yeah. And he doesn't want to budge. So she has to like literally wake him up. You know what I'm saying? And then there's that whole thing. And she could have let him drown for real. She could have let him be fish food.
She could have.
She literally could have let him be fish food and did like Rose did, selfishly float along to shore.
Rose was just did a I'm out.
To this day, I feel like I still to this day Jack still could have been alive. And then she sent over there the recap. 84 years. Don't nobody want to hear that, Granny. You could have saved him. But anyway.
That could have been 84 years of the love of your life. Rose.
Yeah. Right. You sacrificed him. But anyway, so she makes room for him. He gets on the boat. He's like looking at her. He's still pissed at her. My thing is, somebody saved your life. Be grateful. Hello? So they're freezing to death, walking on shore, and he's like, oh, this is my land. Da-da-da-da-da. Right? So he finds his little hut situation, tent situation. They go in there, and it is like an igloo.
Right.
And she's already warm because she, has her ability. He's over there freezing like a human popsicle, and he's refusing her help. So she's already like undressed and all that stuff, y'all. And body is hottie, period. But you can't see anything. So if you pervs are out there trying to watch that, you
this
guys
ain't
are
Game of
sick
Thrones
people.
where they got
But anyway,
all the itties and bitties out.
This ain't Game of Thrones where you seeing everybody's dingleberries and chimichangas. Okay?
Exactly.
So basically she literally makes him get undressed, and he's like, turn around.
I mean, she's
she's
doesn't
like,
make him
I've seen one, I've seen it all.
As persuade him.
Well, he did. Right. Still, he did what she said.
She did. Maybe you don't dislike her as much as you think you do.
Hello?
Matthias.
Because that's what I was saying. So, she's so silly. But, so he removes his clothes or whatever, and then she, like, literally over her shoulder takes a little sneak peek, and she's like, ooh, he kind of fine. You know what I'm saying?
That expression,
and
she was giving that vibe.
Then he gets in the bed with her.
A testament to how well these actors act. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So he gets in the bed and he's like, doesn't want to be next to her, whatever. She's like, you have to get closer, dummy. I'm paraphrasing, but you have to get closer in order to get my body heat. I'm warm. You're cold. Come closer. So she like literally turns to the front and whatever, and he's like shaking like a freaking salt shaker at this point. No yin yang twins. So she, places her hand over his heart, and she like warms him up. And it's in that moment where you can see the appreciation on his face. I don't know if anybody peeped that, but you can see the slight appreciation, but also it's like, I know you like me.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are too many instances where I'm saving your life. Because he literally could have died.
Yeah.
On the little wooden raft situation.
Yeah.
And then he could have died literally in his sleep because he froze to death.
Right. And it's kind of
or
like,
pneumonia.
She was definitely giving this kind of energy of like, I done saved your behind. I didn't do all of this so you could freeze to death in this little hut.
Right.
He has this, like,
or you could be
like,
or you could stay mad at me.
Or like barbarians and stuff, and it's just like, have you ever talked to anyone? Any one of these Grisha that you think are witches and sorcerers and all sort of stuff, like,
right?
Which I guess in a way kind of relates to real life, where it's like the fear of the unknown, and how people are in real life.
Yeah.
They're quick to make assumptions about people and just apply it to the whole swath of the group, paint everybody with the same brush.
That's facts.
And apply the stereotypes.
That's facts.
This isn't copy-paste stereotypes, okay? That's not how this works. Everybody's an individual.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. And that is facts to what you're saying too, because I was thinking that same thing. I was like, this relates. You could relate this to real life. There's so many instances in this series that, with the 6 episodes, that you could relate and apply to real life situations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? From a government aspect, it's some things in there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that's in there where you could be like, ooh.
Political intrigue and all that stuff.
Pinpoint
and military
to something.
and then all this stuff. And then interpersonal stuff.
Right.
And how people can be very manipulative for their own goals.
Right. So there's this specific instance where he has to then return the favor. Remember, if we recall back, she saved him 2 times. Mm-hmm. Right? So they're journeying or venturing off elsewhere. And they're walking over nothing but ice.
Right.
So picture
tundra.
Somewhere super cold. Just no tree in sight. Just
snow.
Just ice everywhere. Mountains, all that.
Just pure white.
And she steps on the ground, and she literally falls in. He grabs her, and underneath is literally nothing. So she would have just literally fell and just, yeah. And you want to know what's crazy? Is the look on his face. He knew. King. I thought that he was either gonna be like the look on his face. He didn't even have to say anything. Right then and in that moment, he was like, "Ooh, I have the upper hand now. Do I kill her and keep going on my way, or do I save her?" And he had to really think about it, because there was at a certain point where it looked like she was pleading, like, "Please don't kill me." And then it was like, that moment was so sweet to me, because it was like, she's like begging for her life, because she's like, "Please, I helped you. You know me," kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. And he's like looking back at her, and he's like, "This goes against everything that I stand for." Right. And he's like, "If I kill her, it wouldn't be the first or last time that I do this to somebody," because we don't know how many bodies he got on him.
Yeah, because he's
we don't know,
quote unquote, witch hunter. We don't know how many bodies he caught. Okay,
we don't know, but he was like, "You know what? I'ma just go ahead and make this decision." And then he saves her from that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she's just like, "Thank you." She's appreciative. And they start making jokes. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, in that moment, I feel like he was like, "I like her. Mm-hmm. I really like her. She made me laugh. This, that, and the third." You know what I'm saying? Earlier in the tense situation.
Back and forth between them. Because they have this kind of love-hate antagonistic, but not in like, I'm really trying to kill you kind of way.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
mm-hmm.
You know you like her. Stop fronting.
Now you know
you like her. It was very obvious. Like,
right, and that's what I was saying too.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what I was saying too. You know you like her. You know you like her. Let's not be crazy.
Guys.
So,
guys.
That was one of the moments that I enjoyed. That's one of the moments that I enjoyed. I also enjoyed, what is the guy's name?
Which one?
It starts with a K. What is his name?
Kaz? The one with the cane?
No.
Kerrigan?
No. He gangsta too. First of all, we gotta talk about him. Because that man is smooth with that cane. He could take somebody out with that cane. Yes. Like that. Oh, perfect moment. Okay. So, remember when in the alleyway situation? When
he comes across
that
Kerrigan,
whole situation where he was almost about to die? Yes. Can we talk about that moment?
Yes.
Talk about that moment, Hugin.
Okay.
Talk about that moment.
So
Because it was so real.
Kerrigan peeps that the crows supposedly, because in his brain, whatever his logic is, the crows kidnapped Alina, because that's what they was there for initially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming after her, after them, and the crows split up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kaz, Jesper, and Inej, and Kaz ends up coming across, having his little Western showdown with Kerrigan, right? Again, mind you, Kerrigan has control over shadows. He's a Grisha. Kaz, as far as I'm aware, is not, and he has a bad leg, so he walks around with a cane. And so they staring each other down. They making these comments back and forth and whatever. And Kerrigan's like, "What'd you do with my son summoner?" Blah 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 blah. Right? And Kaz is like, "I ain't do nothing with her." Mm-hmm. Again, this is my delivery. Okay, I'm adding my soul and my spice.
Yeah, paraphrasing.
He's like, I didn't do nothing with her. Right. She said she didn't want to be a slave to nobody. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to be held captive.
Hello.
And then Kerrigan's like, "Oh, indeed. So she went with you willingly?" And Kaz is just giving this energy of like, "I said what I said. I said it." But, I mean, you heard what I said. Did I stutter, my guy? And then they go back and forth, exchange. He did stutter. Right? And Kerrigan's about ready to murk Kaz. And Kaz, out of nowhere, just pulls out some kind of explosive and disappears. I was just like, "That's so badass." And Kerrigan's just like, "Oh, I'm going to get you."
I honestly was like, I don't know how that man... I was literally like, I don't know how that man did that.
I don't know.
But when he peeped that smoke...
The shadows?
When he peeped the smoke, he was like, "Oh, yeah. You ain't finna kill me."
He said, "Not today."
Yeah. When he peeped the shadow, he was just like...
the thing. Because Kerrigan, he has this ability to turn the shadows into like a solid piece of something, sharp something, like a blade.
Yeah, and just...
The timing Kaz, what? I don't know if he has a sixth sense or what, but the timing of the bomb, right, of the explosive, shattered that blade, and Kaz got away. And I was just like, yo.
But keep in mind that this is... We can honestly say he's somewhat of a con artist.
He is.
Con artists have to be... Con artists have
Quick
to
on
be...
their feet.
10 steps ahead of everybody. Exactly. So this probably is not his first run-in or him witnessing somebody do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially with him facing Kerrigan and he knows what he gonna do. Come on.
Right.
We don't know if this is the first interaction. From what we've seen, it looks like the first interaction. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Kaz very well could have come across somebody with similar powers or something like that. I don't know. But to me, it seems like this is his first interaction with Kerrigan specifically. I feel like there could be a potential for them to have some kind of history, potentially. That wouldn't be too far-fetched.
Yeah.
Considering Kerrigan's past.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a run-in or he came across somebody with that ability or something like it. You know? I wouldn't be surprised. But he does honestly have to be quick on his feet because look at what he does for a living.
Yeah. He owns a whole casino club situation. That man is eagle-eyed,
what else?
bro. He's so detail-oriented. Because remember, I think it was in episode 1 or 2. I think it was 2. But he saw this lady in the club, and it was the way... What caught his attention was the way she was counting the cards or money or something like that. And he was like, "Oh."
I think it was money.
I think it was money, right? And then he brought her in the back because he's like, "Oh, there's something about this, right?" And he gets a stack of money and gives it to her. and tells her to count it. And he's like, "Where are you from?" Because she initially tells him that she's from East Ravka, right? Ravka is the name of this country that this whole thing's taking place in. Oh, I'm from East Ravka. And he's like, "No, you lying. Because
lying.
People from East Ravka count money this way. You must be from West Ravka." And then she has no choice but to spell. And I'm like, yo, how did you know that, my guy? How did you know that? And it's just like, how do you see that from
by him learning that
room?
information, I mean, he was kind of scanning everybody.
He was.
But his eyes glued to her because...
caught his attention. But it's just like, how detail-oriented do you have to be to notice such a small detail? Because most other people wouldn't have noticed that. But just, to me, just points out to how intelligent this guy is. How smart he is. Even though he's giving, even though he's kind of giving like street rat kind of vibes. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up on the streets kind of thing.
She did not say street
It's
rat.
given Aladdin. That's what I mean when I say street rat. It's given Aladdin how...
I know what you mean, ma'am. But you ain't have to call a man a street rat.
That's not what I mean.
It just makes me want to... It makes me want to say riff raff.
Riff raff.
It makes me want to say riff raff. But anyway, man. So I do like his character. Okay, so we got to get back into Mal, right?
Mal.
So here's my thing, right? That's my boy. But he, honestly... Okay, so in the forest, after he does the whole "I'm gonna rescue my homie" mission, in the whole forest situation, right? Where she confesses, oh, there was something that went on. You know what I'm saying? In the big castle,
and she's calling Kerrigan by his first name and all this other stuff. I'm just like, oh, girl.
And that's the thing that...
And
that's the thing that I was just like, girl, what is you doing? Girl, what is you doing?
She is too comfortable too
And then
fast.
Mal said, the thing that Mal said really just like gave me, we wasn't together anyway, so it don't matter, energy. And I was just like, oh, girl. I think it hurt him more to know that she risked it for the
biscuit.
For the biscuit.
And that reminds me. Ooh, that me personally.
Me. Wait.
I'm gonna mention that.
Wait.
I know what I'm talking about.
So it just like it in his face, the look in his face is like, I came here to rescue you, and you kissed another or you did something with another. I'm not bothered, but I'm bothered. And he gave like this little nonchalant tude or whatever. And then I feel like I know what you're gonna say. So go ahead. I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
We here.
Go ahead.
We're here. There's this moment because
Go ahead, girl.
Kerrigan tasks somebody, anybody, with the task of finding something, right? Again, watch the show if you want to know the deets. Mal is like, okay, I'm gonna go find this thing because it's gonna give me an opportunity to see my best friend.
No. Let's switch that. It's an opportunity to go see Bay.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes, it is an opportunity to go see Bay. So he comes back. He comes to the castle with the report or whatever, with the info, right? With the deets. And Kerrigan summons him to his room or whatever. And they going back and forth, right? And he's just like, Mal's like, because Kerrigan's like, where's the thing that I tasked you with finding? Because you said you found it, right? And Mal's like,
Mm-hmm.
I found so and so, but I'm not gonna tell you the exact location until you show me Alina,
Per.
right? And I was like, oh, wow, right? Because I was like, get your girl, Mal, get your girl. And then Kerrigan was like, because he tells Kerrigan his name, and Kerrigan's like Mal, and then I'm like, how he know who Mal is?
Hold up. Hold up. Because when he said, he's like, when he told Kerrigan his name, and Kerrigan was like, oh, I thought this was just some random in the. Hold up. He looked shook.
He looked shooketh, okay?
He definitely was looking like.
It's one thing
oh,
for
crap.
somebody to write or talk about a person, right? And the fact that
Right.
is doing all this stuff because just to see Alina implies that there's something else, there's something more going on here, okay? That you don't know about, Kerrigan. Okay.
Hello.
So Kerrigan's like, I bet, but you need to prove to me, because Mal's like, oh, that's my best friend. We grew up together, right? So Kerrigan, obviously, of course, you might be a scammer. You might be Joanne the scammer. How I know you know her, right? So Mal,
Woo!
and so he's like, all right, so what is Alina's favorite flower? And Mal, no hesitation, tells him, uh
I think they're
blue
like
irises.
blue lilies or something like that.
He says,
okay,
irises, the blue ones, not the white.
blue.
The blue, not the white. And I was like, period. Okay. And then there's another moment where he's like, because Mal's like, because when he asked him who he is, and Mal, this was a key moment, right? Mal was like, oh, you could ask her about me. And I was like, period, man. Period. Ask her about me. There was an unspoken ask her about me, nigga.
My boy put the extra Parmesan on top of the pizza and said, here you go. Let me deliver you this. Let me tell y'all something. When that man said the blue ones and not the white, that was a slap in the face. And when he said, ask her about me,
and you see, they show us Kerrigan's reaction. And he was punted.
That was him getting punted once he said, ask her about me. I literally saw that all away, and he replaced Pluto so quick because that's how far he had got kicked. Because I was just like, dang. Because it was just like, how, what?
Because,
like, what?
Let's be real.
So he was like, you might very well be this powerful dude now, but I'm that.
I'm that dude.
And I'm forever be that.
Giving, she might be with you now, but I'm forever. I'm forever.
For infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear.
No Buzz Lightyear.
Because it was like, stop playing yourself, dude. You don't really want her like how I want her. And this is what is crazy to me, because I was just like, first of all, energy. Because if there ain't nobody finna sit up here and have that same energy for me, I don't want it.
You know what energy it's giving? It's giving, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
They coming to see me.
Okay.
They coming to see me.
They coming to see me. Woo! They coming to see David Ruffin. They not coming to see you, Otis. Woo! Boy, let me tell you. That thing was crazy.
And it's the way they looking back and
that was
forth
like
at
probably
each
one
other.
of the best scenes I've seen. When I tell you that man wanted to literally blow smoke from his nose
Yo,
and ears.
again, a testament to the brilliance
He
of these
was
actors, bro.
heated.
You can see it in Ben Barnes' face and
He
Kerrigan's
was
face.
heated.
He looked pissed.
He was heated.
Okay.
Mal read him his rights and then some.
Miranda rights.
It was just so beautifully done.
Arrested.
Lock him up, he going to jail. Because that was so good. It was so good, bro.
Such a good exchange.
It was so good. Oh my gosh.
And then
I literally had Hugin on the phone when I watched that scene.
She was freaking out.
I was screaming.
She was. And she was trying not to wake up the whole house.
I was like, do you understand?
I'm like...
I really was.
And I was like, I was freaking out with her because I'm like, yo, so I'm telling you.
Energy, man.
It was the energy for me, man. It was the confidence. I'm here for the energy, Mal.
Man, it ain't even a confidence.
It's just like
that is
so
just
self-assured,
you knowing somebody
in himself, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like,
yeah,
it's like I know this person like the back of my hand. What you know about that? What you know about me? What you know about me?
First of all, little mama, calm down. Next. Is there any other
okay, so we were just talking about Kerrigan.
The...
Let's get into Kerrigan. Because he's like so far he's been being portrayed as the main antagonist / villain of the story, right? Spoiler alert, duh. I mean, he's clad in all black and all this other stuff, and he has shadow powers. Ain't no way he could be a good guy. And then I'm just saying. But anyway, he's played so well though, because it's like, again, I don't know the characterization of the character, the whole backstory of the character, because I haven't read the books, but I'm just going off of base of what they're giving us in the show. To me, even though he's supposed to be like manipulative and everything, I feel like there's something real there with him towards Alina, even if it's not necessarily fully returned. I feel like he does to some degree actually legitimately like her, because it's giving, I actually do like you and I'm not manipulating you just for power, right?
Oh, there is a moment where that is shown.
Yes.
Remember when I don't know the girl's name, but it was another person within the palace, the castle,
the squalor girl, Zoya.
Yeah. She returns, and she was his favorite at one point.
His favorite in more ways than one.
That's why I said what I said. She was his favorite, all right.
Mm-hmm. She was a very close companion, let me tell you that.
And she essentially was coming back to return some favors.
To be
and mail up some letters for him, because
and comfort. Yeah, what you're talking about, that Zoya.
What was I saying?
She's supposed to be like his comfort girl, if you catch my drift. The girl he always goes back to when he feeling
and
down.
That's where it was just kind of like weird. It was really weird. But now that he has found somebody else, somebody new, somebody younger or whatever, it's like, oh, I don't need you. You don't do it for me. And that's something that his mom was revealing as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He been doing this for quite some time. You get a certain amount of power, you get new positions, you get new roles, and you switch and change into this person that nobody recognizes because you're this man of power.
Right. And then the crazy part is like, I feel like, truly, I do feel like it's different because Alina's the sun summoner, which is kind of, again, these two characters are supposed to be very much like yin and yang, opposites, right? Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
So now that she's here, it's a whole different ballgame now. You know what I mean? So I feel like
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
really do feel like
Most
this
definitely.
may not necessarily be, oh, bag them, tag them, discard them when you're done kind of situation. Because it's different, you know.
Right.
But
Right.
that's not to say that I
I do
want the
think he
two of them
genuinely does like
together.
her. Yeah.
I'm rooting for Mal and Alina. Okay, I'm just saying.
Nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants that.
I think the thing is, you could tell he genuinely. I could tell that. Sorry to cut you off, but I could tell. You could tell that he genuinely likes her.
Mm-hmm.
It's, but it's like perceived as, I like her because of her, because
Of her
she's
potential.
like me. She has
Mm.
somebody, right? She has somebody that understands her,
Mm-hmm.
that can show her what it is to do with this power, this amount of power. I'm the only person that gets it. I'm the only person that understands it. I want her to be with me because ain't nobody else in this world that's gonna understand her.
Shared pain kind of
However,
vibe, but that's toxic, y'all. Even
you
in real
have
life.
how. However, you have Mal, and it's like, what we doing? Cause believe it or not, he may not understand like her power and her ability and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure if she showed him like she did, he's like, okay, I gotta do whatever I need to do to protect this woman because this is mine. This is like my heart and soul and life form.
Pause.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's a line from Alina's letters where they both mention it in their letters, by the way, which again reinforces the fact to me that they're not just childhood friends. They love each other. Like, because
Facts.
she says about
And that's
how
the
Mal
thing
told
too.
her
Yep.
about True North and Cardinal North. Cardinal North being the north on a map, and True North being like where North actually is. And she literally says that Mal is her true north. I'm sorry, but there ain't no way you can explain that away as just simply friendship. He's her home is literally what she's saying.
Facts.
And he says the same thing.
Is literally what she said.
They're each other's home.
But this is the thing that kills me. I knew that Kerrigan had something to do with those letters. Like, and that's the thing that I'm like, how you don't know who this is? And when he said what he said, that man was shook because he's like, how are you speaking so beautifully about this woman that I am interested in? This woman that belongs by my side. Right? See, this is why y'all need to hire me because I can translate this thing for y'all. But, this woman that was by my side for, we could say, several weeks or months. A couple days.
Definitely been a couple months.
Yeah, because they don't really say how many. Yeah, they don't really. Yeah. I mean, because it's some time that passed in those letters. Because she was thinking she done wrote about 11 letters.
Right, and remember when Mal shows up
from what is told in there
at the village. He's like, it's been months, blah, blah, blah. Why haven't you replied to any of my letters?
Yeah. So it's been quite some time. So we can kind of sum that up to being like 6 months or so. 5-6 months of not receiving a letter. That is a good amount of time to fall for somebody. Which is why I'm like not surprised by Kerrigan and her like falling for each other slightly.
Plus, also consider,
because at a certain point she was just like, because at a certain point she was just like, oh nah, my heart belongs to Mal. My heart belongs to Mal. But when she not receiving the letters, which I feel her, because why you ain't writing?
She's like, why didn't you?
I literally was like, girl, I feel you.
That's like somebody ghosting.
She was like, you ain't writing me back. What's up with that?
That's like leaving a text message on red.
What is really at? You know how devastating, how heartbreaking that is? A nigga leaving you on
somebody
read?
that you've been
on red?
talking to for years.
That you like.
And you liked for years.
That you're really interested in. And niggas just not responding to your text message. Or you receive that. That's literally like, oh girl. That's literally like somebody, you writing somebody, they leave you on red, and then you write somebody again and your text message turns green. If you are a freaking iPhone user and you see a green text message from and you know that y'all both got iPhones, green.
Right.
Green. You got me on the block list or something? What's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I think that's all we got about
the specific characters.
I think that's all we got to say about the show.
Right.
The specific characters in the show.
The costumes, immaculate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
The embroidery. And just how luxurious.
I will say.
Alina's coat. The blue coat with the gold embroidery.
The blue one?
It's so gorgeous.
Fire.
It's so gorgeous. And it just alludes to her powers as a sun summoner, where it's just like rays of light. And I'm just like, ah!
Yeah. One thing I will say, I'm mad y'all did my boy Jasper like that. I'm mad y'all did his hair like that. Like, y'all couldn't give him no natural hair products. I mean, I get it. We're in whatever time period.
I mean, I guess it could account for the time period because...
Huge.
You know.
But I get it. But they couldn't have gave him a good old Temptations. They
could have put some oils in his hair.
They could have gave my boy a good little pressing curl. They could have pressed it, swooped that thing like he was James Brown, and then we could have understood, okay, he done did all this running around. We understand why he looked like a chia pet. But why, or a Pomeranian, but why the whole time he got to look like a wet chihuahua walking up and down the street?
That's not.
I cannot. Inquiring minds would like to know, why y'all be doing black people like this? Why? Why? But anyway, I'm going to also include a clip from my favorite movie. Last Holiday, where she says, why?
Why, Lord?
Okay? Why, Lord?
Why?
Why? But yeah, I guess that wraps up this video. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell.
Make sure to hit that notification bell. Ding. Make sure you hit all notifications. Make sure to also follow us on our social medias, which will be linked down below. And make sure to also, this is not an ad, this is not,
right.
We ain't with Netflix like that. But if you want to, you can
holla at your girl.
Hit us up. Make sure to watch the show when it comes out. The season 2 is coming out on March 16th. So
we will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.